Oh, are you? Is this on Zoom? Yeah, I should be on Zoom. Yeah. And then, you can use this one or one of these. Yeah. I Zoom. Okay.
Okay.
You need to share screen
too. Yeah. I'll share.
Yeah. So I have to give you. Should have co-host now. And then you should be good to go. Oh, do you want to try your clicker?
Oh yeah, it works.
Okay.
Wait, let's get this out of the way. Can we get that out of the way?
Yeah, let me try. Yeah. Okay.
Hey everybody, you're okay? Awesome. Hey everybody, I'm Jeff Best. I am a cybersecurity product manager. I'm a former Company Swift president. Graduated in 09. Funded back to Swift then. I'm here to talk to you about product management. Product management is not a class that Company offers. It's ever offered, and I'm not ever offered. And there's good reasons for that. It's not a first career out of college. And it's not something that I had any awareness out of college. When I told me the product manager position that you're going to, like, great, yeah, you can't do whatever. It's not that at all. It's not the project manager. It's product manager. It's very different. But before I get into that, the table of contents for this talk is 3 questions: what, why, and how. These are the questions I use every day at work. This is how product managers work. We have 3 tools, or 2 tools really. One that kind of explains what all this is. So diving into the what is project management? Like I said, it's not project management. Project management will get you to the moon. Well, it will put somebody on the moon. Product management is creating rockets. There's somebody in this room, various people who wants a project manager could land on the moon, or it could plan away. It can do any of those things. Everything. Those skills are 100% transferable. A product manager can do this. A product manager can create this guy over here, that lunar lander. Project manager, again, depending on but the product manager will get you there with the lunar lander and fulfillment stuff. So product management is the end-to-end process of getting new products and customer standards for the business. In this case, the astronaut is the customer. Product is the lunar lander. Many iterations of the lunar lander before we get there. We'll get back into that for a second. One of the reasons why you haven't heard of product management likely is because there's so many definitions for it and varies based on business. I'm an internal product manager. My customers are inside my company. Most product managers are external. They're serving customers outside the company. It's the jobs, product manager, those sorts of things. People who own a product. Lots of product managers own most of this board. This is from a certification class that I took in product management. Product can be any and all of this, like I said. Most people will only do 7 things. It's overwhelming, it's too much, and we're not going to cover all of it in this talk, but we will focus on a few key things. Some examples of product managers. You ever had this happen to you in an app and thought to yourself, why would anybody let this release into production? You hit the account button, you want to access your account because you're in the application. I want to management, they're like, I want to do something like this. I don't want to do what to say. But the developer read the instructions and Jira take it and said, yeah, this will work. This fulfills the Jira story, so it should be. Some product manager of this block, that is their fault. That is my role as a product manager. I worry this. If this goes to production, it's my fault. If you use an app and it's great, you have a great experience, and you decide not to rate it in the App Store, I still do that. You really have a good experience. Yeah, good experience, bad experience. All the blame goes to product. Product management is important because you think of the user. You're thinking of what the user will actually do with it. Here's an example. We'll see if LibreOffice wants to cooperate with me. A bad product management in action. I'm guessing not. Let's see. Nope, we're gonna skip that. It's funny story about a guy who tries to open door. Because the handle, you pull the handle, right? Like obvious intuitive UX user experience, or you see these doors behind you, they have a bar that you push. This guy rips the door off the handle, but it has a handle in there. So yeah, product management, confluence of business, user experience, and technology. You have to have all three of those to have a successful product. You think of products that you know, when's the last time you thought of a product and you're like, man, I want that to come on sale? It's because all these things get fulfilled. A business bother to put that out there because they would make money off of it. Technology supports it, and it's something that you, as the user, want to see. So, come back to this example. Project manager, we're often talking more about project manager after this promise. I just want to do some disambiguation. The product team gets this guy, and they give him a product to be successful. Neil Armstrong, who's not Richard Harris, who's Apollo 16, I think. He did not, for the first time, get to the lunar lander. He did not say, "Oh yeah, this is great, everything's fine." He almost freaking died in the lunar lander before they even left the Earth. They had a lot of tests on the ground where he was doing lots of simulations, and the customer feedback that constantly in the product management lifecycle is what made him successfully landing for the first time, not even upside. So we had that big old complicated slide of all the different things that could constitute product management. We'll focus on some very simple examples. It's going from end to end, beginning an idea, then getting the customers. And that can be all kinds of different things. It could be an app, it could be some piece of software, it could be a process, it could be a sandwich. Anything can be, or any product that you're trying to sell to somebody, there needs to be some kind of product management that goes into it for it to be successful. So going from an idea, making a business case for it, developing that idea into a product, marketing the product, and supporting the product for the life of that product. There's lots of things that go into the categories before you even take this to be a business case. Then you got your product from a viability perspective, doing market research, customer outreach. Right? If you've ever had a good idea for a product and talk about it with friends, this is that. Oh yeah, we totally sell something like that. Then usually dives in the next step where you say, oh yeah, well, to make a business, I would have to create the universe, and it's impossible to scale. I don't have the funding to do it. There's no, I can't develop a roadmap around it. It's just like a one and done sort of thing. And lots of times it's become open source projects, things like that. Still cool, still valuable, not a product that you can sell. Actually making it anything. So breaking down the business case into the functional requirements that you need to deliver that. So functional requirements, UX requirements, and legal requirements. And my line of work, we have lots of legal requirements. They're great. Talk a lot about different things that are required for implementation, formal roles. ADA clearance is a big one. Like the colors that were on the screen in the mobile app, they matter because somebody could sue you if they didn't have a certain contract or issue. All these different things that you need in the development process so that you can have a successful launch. Once you have something, you need to get to a marketing team or market yourself or develop a collateral responsible for what actually goes into the email blasted to your customers. How do you package it? Most literally, if you're going to sell a product to somebody, what sort of tiers of product, what sort of add-ons, what sort of upsells are you going to offer to make sure you're getting the maximum value out of that from the business perspective, and offer that to your customers and something that they want to consume. User collateral, anything from emails or posters or movie advertisements, things like that. And supporting that. Doing sales training. Sales training is huge because if you've ever talked to a sales engineer, you know what they're talking about. This is a problem for the product to solve. They need to educate their salespeople into giving the best information to be able to make those sales. Customer engagement, so talking to your users after the product is in their hands. That if you've ever bought a car, you weren't buying usually the first model car of its kind. You're buying the first, or the second, third generation of that. It's because, and I've participated in this before, they do those focus groups and say, what do you like about it, what do you not like about it, what's going to sell the next car? There's things like that for, every different, you're making, different iterations of products. And then I'll be here about that before. So if you will, for right here, we're going from an idea to the actual finished product in customer sense. We're going from strategy all the way to execution. And that's what differentiates the product manager from everybody else. Is everybody else has a piece of this, so the product manager is invested the entire way and is responsible for the entire way. If something goes wrong that prevents us from executing, the product manager is responsible for it. So we talk about sandwiches. We're going to talk more about sandwiches. We're going to build a new sandwich. You guys all have sandwiches or had sandwiches. Some of you have sandwiches in front of you. Sandwiches are great. We're in the best sandwich that's ever been created. It's brand new, never before seen. We're going to have a focus group. We're going to figure out what's new inside the sandwich world, what's going to sell, what's going to be great for our customers. We have to think through the business case of it too. We say, all right, let's say your Subway. You have to determine how many customers you put through your queue in an hour. You have to get some kind of throughput. Your costs are capped at a certain amount per sandwich. If you're using an ingredient, that's another thing. You can think all this through up at the outset until you come up with your new sandwich. It's an AI awesome. So we've created the sandwich that somehow managed to fit all those criteria, and now we've got to sell it. So you got to create some kind of packaging for it. So you want to put it in the farm store of the hill. You got to make it pretty. You got to make it sustainable. You got to make it cost a certain amount. You got to put copy on it. AI has a tough time with selling package. And then you got to market it to your customers. So you got to make some scary collateral to put people together. So end to end, like beginning to end, so it is in the customer's hands. That is the product manager's life. And then once it's out there, iterating on it. Okay, either next sandwich, great. We're not going to park with that one. Let's do this one. If it's a car, like what are let's say you buy into a support for 2 years and you need 25,000 miles worth of bumper to bumper maintenance. So what does that maintenance cost like? What does the extended warranty look like? All those different things. You have to own as a product manager. And so we release software from that release apps. We get feedback from our customers that we don't ask for. It ends up in the app store. We fund it, we mediate. We get, everyone has a customer, no matter who you are. You own your own business, you're answerable to somebody. Responding to your customers and giving them the support you need, as long as you're selling the product, is what you have to do. That's the what. That is what a product manager is. We're going to talk about the two tools that a product manager uses to execute. That is why and how. Starting with why, I have questions for you guys. There's a packed house in here, but I'm going to pick on whoever wants to volunteer. I have a question for all of you. Why are you here this week? Listen. All at once. Yeah, anybody. Did you want to learn about product management? All right. Who else? And because you know me isn't a good answer. Go ahead. Just a few people. All right, good. Anybody else? Yeah. Find your gun cybersecurity. Great. They're all good answers. Okay. So we have a couple good answers. Now I want you to tell me why again. Dan, you said you want to be with people. Why do you want to be with people? You want to run your cybersecurity skills. Why is that? understand what's possible out there, right? Kind of look around and see what your options are. And you can. Because you want to know what it's like to be part of it. Great. So taking Dan's example for a second. He wants to be around people, which is great. Like that's a good reason for being here. That we learned a little something about Dan and why he wants to be here. But asking him why again, because he's a network. Now I know what drives it. Like I know what Dan wanted to do before, and now I know the motivation for the second why. Asking why twice. Why is a very powerful tool. As a product manager, I ask why a lot. I ask a lot of dumb questions. In fact, I preface a lot of questions with, I'm going to ask a dumb question that I think I know the answer to. But you'd be shocked, like 20% of the time, I didn't know the answer to it. And those are the most powerful questions that I ask, is being surprised with the answers that I'm used to. So, why am I here? Let me turn around. Why am I here? I'm a cybersecurity professional. I want to share my experience building products. And why? So that I can help a new generation of students build their internet bits. I want you guys to interrupt me at any time, ask me questions throughout this, please. I don't want this to be interactive. There's time for questions at the end. Don't say. I know somebody, one of the, my boss interrupted me once that I talked about Stephen, and that's why we're best friends for like 16 years. So it's definitely okay to interrupt. So I told you, product manager 2 tools, the why and the how. Discover new opportunities, on the why column, discover new opportunities, inspire teams to build great things, and ground the how. These are all very important for doing the why. Without, doing the how. Without the why, we have no frame of reference to ground our how. How, we'll get into that. This is an example. Say you want to build a home. There's never been done before, never been invented. Is somebody who has their own home lab or just interested in tinkering and stuff might say, yeah, it's very easy. You just make a very small microphone, make a very small speaker, you connect them with the wire. That's great. That's not a problem. That's a hobby. That's something cool that you did. That I don't know. You might tell all your friends on the internet if the internet isn't invented yet, but it's something cool to do. To turn that into a product, you have to do a slew of other things. You have to create an infrastructure. You have to sell the product to an investor. You have to get funding to roll it out into some kind of locality. You have to prove that it works. You use that proof to get a second round of funding to build it out even bigger. And all of a sudden you're 18 people. You can't do that by just saying, I want to invent a telephone. You have to have something bigger guiding the why. You have to say, I want to make long distance communication as easy as you and I talking to each other right now. That's how you go from a hobby or something cool that you're doing to a real problem. So again, some more examples of why. We talked about making long distance communications easy as you and I talking right now. Making the world easier for everyone to travel. That's a great one. That sounds like a really cool why. It sounds like a compelling reason to do something. We're putting a computer on a desk in every home. That's a big goal. Say, think about it 50 years ago when nobody had a computer in their house. That's a huge challenge. How do you do that? You do it by these things. By defining that why, you can create novel solutions for satisfying why. Building a device that people can operate from the comfort of their own home. Nobody would have thought that was possible before somebody decided to take that why and extend it into building a telephone. You have to start with your why here to build cool and compelling products that people want to use. That turns into a telephone, it turns into a car, that turns into an operating system. The coolest part of all of this, none of these things were new when they were invented. They were all copies of something else that did it in a crappier way. I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. The why is the vision. The vision is super important. So none of these things were the newest thing. None of these things were the first iteration. There was a telegraph before there was a telephone. There was the Mercedes-Benz motor coach before the Model A, and there's the Lisa computer with, I forget what the operating system name is, before Microsoft Windows. They all did it. They all did it before Bill Gates, before Ford, before Bell created any of this stuff. But they all did it better because they had that why. Think about the user. Yeah.
why do you need this cybersecurity?
Why do we need cybersecurity?
The thing with those products is they never cared about safety, about anything else.
Okay, there's two really good questions. Why do we care about cybersecurity? And what about the unintended consequences of these? So those are very good. I'm gonna keep those in mind. I'm gonna try to address them as I go. But if not, then we'll come back at the end. So none of these things were new. There was a gap of at least a year between the time that these came out and the time that, the time that their predecessors came out and the time that these things were marketed. They all did it better because they all did what the users were actually doing. A user doesn't want to learn any language to try to send a message to somebody on a telegraph. They want to be able to pick up the phone and say, hey, where you're at. The Mercedes-Benz motor car, nobody wants to drive themselves somewhere. That's a status. That's a luxury. They want to pack their family in a car and just get moved. That's what the model did. And it did it in a way where even the people building it could afford to buy it. And same with the Microsoft Windows. You can install that on your computer that you already have. Made it very easy to switch from whatever version of DOS we had. You didn't have to buy a multi-$1,000 computer, just you can install it on whatever you had, and had a compelling set of programs and features that allowed you to do new and cool things that made you want a computer at home. You could go home from your office where you use a computer and say, yeah, there's some cool things where I also wanted to use that. And this will keep happening. It's been happening forever, where something replaces something else in a bigger, better way. Just like faxes replace mail, email replace faxes, and Signal, or whatever. You can communicate faster and faster and faster. This is happening with AI, and we'll get to kind of what Dan was talking about too, with safety and things like that. So with AI, we're in this weird period where we're at in my opinion, the Mercedes-Benz motor coach of AI. It's out there, people know about it. There's lots of good uses for it, good reasons for it, but it's just a sea of everything that's the same. Google, a few months ago, they had a leaked memo that went out to the press and said, we have no vote. All of our stuff is the same as everybody else. There's no reason for people to buy our stuff and they get it for free. And doing things at the scale that we're doing is actually slowing us down. You can have smaller, more nuanced, and more specific AI models that we train that do specific things. We're trying to do everything else. We're trying to boil the ocean, and it's not getting us anywhere. What's interesting to me is they identify the why. Why do we suck? We have no secret sauce. Everything else is free, and giant models are actually bad. They know the why. This is what was bolded in their internal memo. But what I think is important, and it's interesting to take a look at, is the what they can do to fix the why. Bolded that here, we should prioritize building third-party integrations. We should consider why we're valuable at all. I mean, that's kind of business 101. But in the long run, the best models are ones that are small and that can be iterated quickly. And that's why I think ChatGPT has been leading a little bit with ChatGPT-4, is that collection of experts. They don't have just one model. They model very more quickly with small models. But yeah, this is telling that it's the one why. This internal memo, it kind of tells the story. So fast forward a couple months, and this is their press release. This is quotes from their own press release about their Gemini. I was back at Bar, now we're at Gemini, and this is what their latest and greatest thing is, and this is what they're trying to sell us. Their vision, so going back to the why, is to help AI, help make AI helpful for everyone everywhere in the world. Which is a great goal. I mean, that's cool. Going back to that. They proved that they're doing that with these benchmarks. And as you see, the benchmarks are not unilaterally better. They're all within 5 or 10% of ChatGPT. They're not meaningfully different. It's the same thing. They're telling me the same thing that other companies do. It's because of this bad vision. This vision, if you think about this vision, you could have slapped OpenAI on top of it. You could have slapped Meta on top of it. You could have slapped Google on top of it. And it would have been the exact same thing. It would have been exactly the same. No differentiation. They're not thinking about what makes them valuable. That middle one that kind of glossed over there, we should consider where value add is. They're ignoring that entirely. And a lot of these companies, because it's hard to figure out what differentiates you when this is a commoditized product. As product managers, that's something that you need to think about when you're ideating, creating something new for the whole product. Why are you here? Why is it different? Why is it valuable? So we go back to our examples, these revolutionary products, it seems that we're revolutionary, that we're not new. You're taking something that, you can communicate on this, but I want it to be easy. I want people to bother to use it. I want somebody to go pick up a telephone and talk to somebody else. That is going to be a better user experience, focusing on user again, than learning a new language, learning more sort of talking to a telegraph operator. Make the world easier for everyone. This is why it makes it a better vision than whatever else people were doing with cars before. I want it to be for everyone. I need to solve the problems to make this, I need to reduce the cost of this. I need to make sure that the automobile is reliable. I need to solve the labor problem of producing this at the scale that I need to. If you think about all of these to solve that vision, to fulfill that vision. And finally, with Bill Gates, like, why would you ever want to play with a computer in every home? It's a stupid idea. You got computers at work. Because there's something there. You can build an operating system people like you. You don't have to have a CLI. You don't have to have a monitor on the OS. You can have features that people get games. You have a reverse. That. Who would not reverse? So Henry Ford, he was a great product manager, and he thought about what the customer wanted. And he asked why. And he asked why more. If he said, if you listen to his customers, they would have told him I want faster horses. Why? Why do you want faster horses? Oh, because I want to get to where I want to go faster. Well, that is the problem to solve. That is the market gap. It's not that they want faster horses, it's that they want to get license faster. Okay, well, why do you want to get someplace faster? Well, my family wants to see a movie. Okay, so you actually don't want anything to do with the horse. You want a transportation that's safe, that's you can afford. I don't know, same cost as a horse, that it's got a little rain cover, you can go out in the rain. This is what embodying your customer is all about. You have to it's not just about making people want it. It has to be something that people want to use. So thinking about the user is very important. The customer's usually wrong, and it takes a lot of asking questions why to get there. So, talk about what, talk about why, talk about how. So, and this again is a differentiator for product managers. A lot of people are ideas people. They're it's totally easy to have good ideas. Everybody is actually it's impossible. But how? How do you accomplish that? You have a set of five tools that you can use to execute on these change programs. Because they are change programs. You're changing something, you're changing a paradigm. Ford is changing away from, there were cars in the world, there were electric, from horses to cars, changing from sending a letter to making a phone call, and from not having a computer to having a computer. These are change programs. So, let's talk about some tools for the prioritization. You have to be able to, we have that list of all the different things you need to do to create a telephone. A wonder is, you can't do them all at once. You're not going to do them all at once. So how do you carve that out into improving somebody that can do it, and then developing your first round, your second round, your third round of releases to iterate on that. Model A, Model T, Model A, all the different models of car until you get that Mustang Mach-E. It didn't happen where Henry Ford said, "Hey, I got an idea for a car, let's just make the Mustang Mach-E." He wouldn't have known how to get there from there, but you got to. In business, you're going to want people to come back for repeat business too. So, cell phones, that was a good one that came up earlier today. We all know the person who gets to play a cell phone every year. Why do they do that? Well, because somebody created a roadmap for the last 5 features that could have been on the roadmap was one for the next year, and have a big song for the next year. It's not always as anti-consumer than that though. Like sometimes you're working with constraints no matter where you are. There's never enough time, there's never enough money to deliver everything you want. And so you do have to prioritize, you have to make judgment calls. And as a product manager, that's one of the most important things that you do is you make the ultimate call on what doesn't ship, on what doesn't get prioritized, on how we solve a hard problem, on how much technical debt you're going to accrue as you go along the way. So there's a lot of responsibility in being a product manager is making sure that you're being kind to the customer in that way, that you're not giving something you're going to have to retract because there's just too much to support, but also do something that's good for the team. Managing interdependencies between teams. So I have the great luxury of working across hundreds and thousands of people within my company to deliver these products. I have to work with IT, I have to work with our engineering, I have to work with our legal teams. I love doing that. I love talking to different people and not finding consensus, but finding solutions. It's really easy to make it a democracy, and, everybody knowing what we should be doing. That's not product management, that's not business. Business is not a democracy. Someone has to make the hard call, and that's the product manager. And constantly grooming the roadmap back along. What was a priority one year is not going to be the next year. What's priority one week is not going to be the next week. And so reacting and being agile in how you're working things and deploying things, again, product manager makes that call. To accomplish that, you have to have a depth of technical knowledge. And this is the gap that I see with a lot of product managers. And this is why product management is not a first job out of college. You do need that great reviews in, you do need to do some hard work beforehand so that you can have the thought, you have the street cred with your users, with your internal customers, stakeholders, that you know how to talk about. My customers are all security folks. I spent over a decade in computer security as an operator, testifying in court about computer forensic stuff. I speak their language. They know that they can talk to me about problems that they have with forensic collections and recording artifacts and taking platform, and they trust that I know why it matters. You can't do that. Like I said at the outset, the project manager can fix your wedding or find a person, but the project manager, they can make you a little. But you ask them about wedding cake, that is not like a core competency of a project manager. Unless they're in baking, then problem solving. So that technical expertise allows you to solve problems with the interdependency. But when I have an engineer that comes to me and say, so we can't do that, first ask why, and then ask why again. The whole usual thing. Being Socratic, like you have to really truly fundamentally understand using your technical expertise why these are insurmountable problems, and then be able to solve the problems. Because it's a business, like the show must go on. What are you going to do to fix it? Sometimes it means cutting a feature, sometimes it means changing a feature, sometimes it means moving a feature to next year, next quarter. So, you have a question right there? Being diplomatic. So this is probably the thing that you don't learn in school the most of anything in here. This is the one that gets passed over the most. And this is the hardest and most rewarding thing that I do every day, is I have to make saying no, and I have to say no to people and still make them think that I'm their friends. Because I am their friends. I am their advocate. My customers are important to me, and I want the best for them. And usually that means telling them no. Sometimes they get yes. But it's, I have to show them that empathy. I have to build those relationships with my customers, build that trust. As an external product manager, working with customers, they do the same thing. You have to show them that A, you're confident and capable, B, that you hear them and that you understand that, and then C, tell them what you can do. You don't say no most times. Say, well, this is what I can do. It's a negotiation. And negotiating is a skill that you really have to develop before and during your product manager. And it's fun. It's a lot of fun, because it's not a one-way street where you're taking things from people and saying, no, you're gonna get me to like it. It's doing something to benefit those customers. Like Henry Ford could have read faster horse. It's not what the customer wanted, no matter what they said. You got them something better that's revolutionary the way that everybody got here today. Because Henry Ford didn't make that. Like I said, this all rolls into a change program. So every product is its own change program. You're doing something fundamentally different than you did before. And you can't do that just by saying, I have a good idea, y'all better do this. There's a whole group of literature on this, and I'm not doing it justice, but I will suggest that it's all interested in you. really, if anything, is at all interesting to you, it's not read this book, leave Jane with on Potter. It will shed a lot of light on why your companies do anything, and how they can do it better. How you, as a leader, leader's a label, it's not a title. You can lead from wherever you are in the organization, and this helps you do that. If you want to do something different in your company, if you want to change something in your company, use this model. Create a sense of urgency, like make it a problem that needs to be solved. Build a coalition of folks that want to follow you, that want to solve this problem with you, so on and so on. So you're able to generate a change, make it stick, and then do it all over again with your next stop. How do you become a partner manager? I've said it a couple times that it's not going to be your first job coming out of college. I've had a lot of people try it, and it's not. You just can't do it. You need that. You need to put your reps into the it. But become an expert in something. That you're passionate about something. That is your path to being a partner. I love security. I've always loved security. I've never wrote a line of code that ever made it to prod in any company I work for. Anything to that. But I'm still an expert in security. I've testified as an expert in security. I know where the bodies are, and I know how to be successful there. But I also have a business background, right? As I asked me here at Cal Poly, I have that. I was lacking in a few areas. I went to school again for business and rounded that out. And along the way, I was able to prove that I can go from zero. I built teams from nothing. I built products from nothing. Running my business for over almost a decade really showed that I could go and take something and sell that. I can build something from nothing and sell that. And that could be a service, that could be a traditional product, it could be a sandwich. Showing people from 0 to 1 is super important. And being empathic, getting customer says, think about things like a customer, because you do that every day. When you open an app and say, why the hell is this the way it is? You are in your own customer, you are the customer. So be conscious of that, be conscious of those thoughts, because when you're designing products, when you're developing products, you have to do that. You have to eat your own apple. That's what Google says. I like that. Because if you're going to eat your own apple, you better make sure it's good. That's all I have. Happy to take questions. So Dan, actually, sorry, Dan. So you're asking about product security and best for the customer and why CP doesn't always take the first or the forefront of things. And that's as a company, you can't let perfect be the enemy of good, which isn't justification for doing something unsafe deliberately. But you do have to ship, and it's never the last time you're going to ship. Hopefully it's never the last time you're ship. But we learn things along the way, and like we saw with the lunar lander, sometimes people pay with their lives. Not just lunar lander, but the Apollo program, people did pay with their lives with bad UX, bad design, bad department. One of the Apollo capsules, they burned that on landing pad because an engineer said, well, these guys need oxygen, so we're saving oxygen, 100%. Okay, better than 20-something%. That's what we got on the Earth. Oh, fine. Well, it's not fine. A 100% oxygen environment means one spark is the end of it. And you can't get into that or that module fast enough to save it. And three folks paid the price that way, and now we know better. And so that's why this is important to make this smoother process. You see the same pattern with airplanes, where MCAS failure or Boeing or whatever Boeing's doing. So they're unfortunately learning a lot the hard way. The things that haven't solved before. So the cars, I think the cars are doing a lot that's worse for forcing it better, making it so heavy. But elsewhere airbags and things like that, they systems that stop the it's a process. If you can't make something super, you can't take all the sharp edges off of everything, because then it's no longer a product that's worth buying. You can make the most safe computer there ever was, you just can't collect it. Yeah.
That gets to the four-letter word.
Of
Most important.
yeah, that is. So Dan said that is. Oh, I'll tell you what it is. You tell me if I'm right. Risk. Yeah. So risk. Dan said there's a 4-letter word here that we're dancing around. That's risk. And risk is what I deal with every day. the cybersecurity expert and product manager, is I have to tell my customers, yes, I can give you what you want, but if you're assuming more risk in the form of tech debt, which is financial risk, which is going to cost more, or legal risk, where we can do that, but you're no longer fulfilling the requirements for name country. We are all risk managers every day, no matter what job we're in. We have to be mindful. We can't just work with reckless abandon to deliver things to customers, but we do have to. I'm sorry. But we do have to. Yeah, we have to manage the risk to our customers. And just like the examples of the Apollo module, putting 100% oxygen there wasn't unnecessary. Somebody fixed that. Armstrong playing around with the lander in the test bed, on a airport runway, they identified some unnecessary risks that they fixed. We do have to be mindful of that and managing risk, quantifying risk, and understanding as a business there is an amount of risk that we're willing to take as a person running a business. Understanding that risk and falling under that risk is what we need to do as a risk manager. Yes.
Technical terminology, I guess, but like when you're gonna launch a product, right? How do you kind of measure things that are quote like intangible, like deciding, hey, the screen for this new laptop that we're shipping out should be blue versus red. Things that are like don't have an objective value. How do you like make the decision that what it should be this or that?
Great question. So the question was, how do you make hard product decisions when there's no right answer? How do you make something? Why do you make something red or blue? If you're like shopping for a car, there's certain colors you can and cannot get the car. Why? Why are you limited to choices? Sometimes it's financial. Sometimes it's hard to make a blue one than a red. Sometimes you do your research with your customers and they've always bought the blue and you just don't ship it. Or the red one's never sold. And sometimes companies have done this and they face a lot of backlash because that very vocal minority of customers, they won't buy anything like that one. And so understanding your customers, even knowing that the red one, costs you a little more, but that let's see the impact of a very vocal minority of customers, or the outrage around it is not worth that. So let's see, you have to make those decisions. And that's part of just like the customer feedback. Owning that competency as a product manager and just getting your reps and understanding the business. That's why the technical expertise and that subject matter expertise in your field is so important. And that's why a product manager responsible for Lunar Lander can't make you a web. You have to be an expert in that space to be able to make those decisions. And sometimes there isn't a science to it. Frequently there isn't science to it. You got to go through that and just put yourself in the news. Everybody else is doing it. So I'm just going to do this. Yes.
So, from your explanation about the day in life of a product manager, you talk about managing all of these different pieces within your organization. What security products does City produce?
So the question is, what security products does my company produce? And that is not that is not our core competency.
So what do you manage?
So what do I manage as a cybersecurity manager for a company that does not produce anything cybersecurity oriented? I serve our internal customers. So our internal customers, they use security products every day, and they use them better than they did a few years ago before I joined, because I am in their shoes. I am getting them what they need to be more effective. I am making hard decisions on what vendors to go with, because yes, I know you have a relationship with this vendor, a personal relationship with this vendor. However, this other vendor is half the cost and twice as good, and it versus everything that they already have. So being able to take the big picture of an entire stack of security tools and make hard decisions about that is what's very fun and very valuable about my job. Being internally focused and talking to internal customers, I'm still selling something to them. I'm still providing value. There's not a hard dollar value there, but I'm giving them something better than they have.
So how do you deal with your team when they want to go with this product? Let's call it Cisco, right? And they're like invested in it, but you're like, oh, well, yeah, they suck, but Palo Alto's better. How do you square that circle?
Oh, yeah, and this is something that real life challenge that happens all the time. You know, I've got my personal pet project favorite, and I'm not gonna hear you any other way. That's where the negotiation comes in. Like going back to negotiation, you have to be good at that. And I do have a reading list, in this slide deck, I'll paste it in the Discord. That one of the books in there is just incredible about, I mean, not getting what you need out of a negotiation. In that specific instance, I'll give you some examples of what I do is I tell them, okay, let's create a rubric today. Let's define the requirements of what you need to do. What are you trying to do? Why are you picking it? Why? Eventually you went from I need a faster horse to I need to get somewhere faster. You know, I am trying to solve this problem in security, this gap that I don't have. So, okay, great. So those are the requirements around that. I need to be able to ingest emails. I need to be able to ingest indicators of compromise in this format. I need to be able to export it to the signage platform. Great, line by line, great. Okay, let's have a bake off with all the vendors chime in. Okay, yes, no, maybe, sort of, plan. Great, apples to apples. Sometimes they're right. Sometimes whatever they said is the right answer. Usually not, the customer's usually wrong. But then it's them saying, they are arguing against themselves at that point. So you know, negotiating those hard situations, it's fun, it's challenging, and we all run something along with. Yeah.
Yeah, more follow-ups. The other question, I guess, is just because I'm curious, I heard you're talking about like product and multiple departments. So how do you deal with somebody who says no back over the year?
It tells me that, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So someone is basically, you know, hey, how do you deal with like pushback from multiple departments?
Gotcha. So yeah, I have multiple stakeholders everywhere, and how do I deal with multiple people telling me no? And that's why the vision is so important. So going back to why, again, it's always going to come back to why. That's why I landed on this slide for my questions, so I'm just going to go back to why. Going back to why we're doing this meeting, and we get change leadership. If we go back one slide, two slides. Part of this is getting a coalition of the willing, getting buy-in from people more senior than you to be able to pull something off. Because it's always a change curve, like I said. And then going back to the why behind it, say, we are going to move from this platform to this platform. It's my decision and this person's decision. We all have the same marching orders. We're all in the same organization. So we're going to do this, right? We're not going to, we're going to shed as much tech as we can and move on. We're going to continue. Make it so it's not up to you. Really, that's the secret there. So that's all you're executing on something that's bigger than you. And we've all got to find a solution to come to that vision. We've got to get to that vision. We've got to not make the faster horse. We got to get people faster. Get people where they are to go faster. We got to get people talking to each other. Whatever your vision is, focus on the vision. Anchor it there. Don't make it about the negative. Like, oh yeah, well, it's not going to accept, you know, my email format anymore. Like, nobody cares. You know what? There was some made-up thing a million years ago, and we're going to do something bigger, better. We're going to replace it with a fax machine, with email, with instant messaging. Nothing lasts forever. Am I on time? Who's got? That's great. Any more questions? Yeah. Yeah, have I ever had to push something in production or a push product that I didn't particularly find meaningful or didn't love, I wasn't invested in? Yeah, I would say so. Like financial, I pushed a financial app managing mutual funds. Never bought a mutual fund before in my life. I don't care about mutual funds. Not really fan of mutual funds. But somebody out there is. Somebody out there cares about it. And so putting myself in the customer's shoes and embodying that, being empathic and understanding that they're going to do it no matter what. They're going to buy these mutual funds, they're going to invest in them, and they love it, and they want to be able to track it, and they want to be able to sell and buy them, check it every day when they're having their afternoon coffee. And I get that now because I put myself in my customer's shoes, and so I'm making the world like not naturally better, a little bit better place because they're able to do what they want in a meaningful way. So yeah, I mean, will I ever download my own app in that case? Absolutely not. I have no desire to, but I do it anyway. I put them on the phone and say, okay, say I'm gonna use it right now. I just wrapped up work. The closing bells are off, all of the major function process done now. What am I gonna do with that? Oh, yeah, you know what? I wanna see the progress over time. Let's add that as a feature. Oh, I wanna be able to download my statement for this tax time. Let's add that as a feature. So it's fun to put yourself in those situations, even though you don't personally care about it. It can still be a challenge. Great question. Anyone else? All right, appreciate it. Thank you very much.